All right, so here's a little tutorial on how to use the Texas Instrument 8384 to find the mean and the sample standard deviation. We're going to use these four numbers, 4, 5, 12, 17, in our example. All right, so the very first thing we need to do is input those four pieces of data into the calculator. So turn the calculator on, and what we want to do now is put data in the list. And actually just pressing the stat button, just press stat, what that does is it pulls up this screen. We want to edit. This will allow us to edit the list, so I just hit enter. Down at the bottom right, I press the enter key, and we will note that I already have data in there. Now I need, some of this data is similar, but it isn't the exact same data. So using the arrow keys, I'm going to up arrow, take a look up at the screen, up there. I'm going to move that cursor to L1 by up arrowing. Do not hit delete, do press clear, and then when I arrow down, what's going to happen? I press the arrow down, see my finger here, I've cleared the data, so I will not have the wrong data in. Now, we'll see I need a place for the first piece of data. My first piece of data was 4, so I just type the number 4, and I press enter, and it enters 4. 5 is my next piece of data, so I type 5, press the enter key, and that inputs 5. 12 was my next value, input it, and enter, and then type in finally 17 for my fourth piece of data, hit enter. So now I've got all of my data in L1. All right, what I want to do is get out. So the best thing to do whenever I'm in one application on the calculator is to hit second. All of the blue lettering above the keys is accessed by the second key in blue. Anything green, if I needed to make letters, you can see there's green lettering above. That would be accessed by alpha. So I want second, quit, clears my screen. I want to find the mean and the standard deviation. We're going to get a whole bunch of other information that's going to be helpful here, because I also wouldn't mind getting the number of data points, the minimum, the maximum, what will be called the first and third quartile and the median. I'm going to get all of that just by doing this one thing. So I go to stat, press that again, and you'll notice up at the top I have edit, and I have calc, and I have test. We will not need test, that's for a stat class. But calculations will be really helpful here. And so I arrow over, using the arrow button, I arrow over to calc, and notice immediately what's already selected is one variable stats. That's exactly what I need. So I press the enter key. When I press the enter key, it wants to know what list. We put our data in list 1. So notice list 1 is in blue above the 1 key. So I access anything blue with the second. Press that first, press 1 second, and notice that what that puts in now is that I'm going to do one variable statistical calculations with the list 1. Press enter. So I'll press this. Let's watch what happens. At the moment I press enter, it's very exciting. I get the mean, 9.5 up at the top. I get the sample standard deviation is SX, so I can round that to 6.14. As population standard deviation, we don't need that right now. It tells me the number of data points. There's also a down arrow, so if I arrow down, what I'm going to get is what is known as a 5-number summary, the minimum, the first quartile, the median, the third quartile, and the maximum. So we get all of that. Seems like a lot of work right now, but once you get used to inputting this, it's actually pretty straightforward. Anytime, again, I would like to get out, second, quit, and I'm out of that screen. And of course, one thing to keep in mind with a battery-operated calculator, especially one that does not charge or does not have solar power, is don't waste batteries. The second you stop using it, second on, turns it off, and you're no longer wasting batteries at the same rate. I hope that helps.